This is the continued story of the book I Saw God's Hand by E.L. Martin, as retold to the children of the Watertown SDA Church Primary Sabbath School. I'm your storyteller, Austin Bacchus. Let's go.
The nearest 40-foot gallon drum with two Papuans clinging to it was about 300 yards from me. That's about 900 feet away. That's a long ways. Between being rolled under by each wave and momentarily getting on top, I breathed out some sort of prayer, telling my master, unless he intervened, this was the end, but if he had further work for me, then only he could save me for it. Who's the master he's talking to? God, right? What happened during the next few moments, I will never know this side of God's kingdom. The next thing I can remember was that I was within 20 feet of the two men still clinging to the drum. So a few seconds before, how far away had he been? 900 feet, and now he was within 20 feet. All of a sudden, I clearly heard them say, "Master, try to get to this drum and hold on with us until we're washed ashore." A little after 6 p.m., we reached shore just as darkness was falling. That meant we had been in the water about 4 hours, and were washed ashore about 2 or 3 miles west of the river's mouth. I well remember lying in knee-deep water, too exhausted to make the last few yards. I vaguely remember my two companions dragging me above the waterline. They and I were the last 3 to make it ashore. In the darkness, as we lay on the sand, we could see flashlights coming along the coastline, searching for survivors. We were the last 3. We were taken aboard another ship in the Vailala River and clothed. That night, I was wearing the chief geologist's shoes, the base superintendent's trousers and shirt. The Chinampa's cook had a hot meal waiting for us. The Chinampa was the name of the boat that picked them up. Never had I tasted such delicious hot soup. It was the first food we had eaten since the evening before. That night I was given a comfortable base at the Australian Petroleum Company's I was given a comfortable bed at the Australian Petroleum Company's base, and I had a good breakfast the next morning. Now, shortly after breakfast, I asked to talk to the 2 Papuan men who I felt had saved my life. These were the 2 men that had been floating on the drums and that he managed to get to somehow. In my weakened condition, I had been unable to hold on to the drums. They had clamped their hands over mine as we floated in the water. You guys understand what he's saying? That this is like a round barrel floating in the water, and they were hanging onto it from one side. He came up on the other side. He couldn't even hang on. He was so weak. So they reached over the barrel, grabbed onto his hands, and just held him by his hands so he could just dangle there above the water until they were able to reach shore. So they had saved his life. The privilege of talking to them was granted to me. I thanked them from the depths of my heart. But after a bit, it was evident I wasn't getting through to them. They didn't understand a word I was saying. An interpreter was found, and again, through him, I thanked them profusely. The 2 Papuan crewmen, with perplexed expressions, asked through the interpreter why I wasn't speaking to them in their own language. I was quick to explain that, well, just as they couldn't speak English, I couldn't speak their language either. They replied through the interpreter, "No, master, we can't speak your language, but you can speak ours. From the time we told you to try to get to the drum until we were washed ashore, you spoke to us in our language. We understood everything you said."
Be sure to tune in next time for more stories from the book I Saw God's Hand by E.L. Martin. And meanwhile, feel free to check out these videos as well as others on my YouTube channel with many more mission and Bible stories for kids and adults. God bless you.